Good evening, Dr. Z. This is the video for week nine's assignment. So in this one, as the project requirements are stated over here, we had to collect S&P 500 company data. In that, we had to have price, volume, financial ratios, different kinds of things, different kinds of metrics that we need to have over here. Then we had to clean and pre-process the data, engineering the relevant features for clustering, implement k-means clustering, determine the optimal number of clusters, analyze those clusters, and then compare them with traditional sector classifications, identifying potential investment opportunities, and document the anomalies and insights. That is something that I was doing in this assignment. Let's jump on to the VS Code first. This is the first file. So in this one, I already had the data that I used in week seven's assignment that included all the S&P 500 data downloaded from WRDS. It had all the metrics that I already needed, so there wasn't a problem over there. And then I had already cleaned it up. I had removed all the infinity values, all the NAN values, so none of that. It was completely clean, and then it was perfectly available for regression. In that one, in week seven, I had used lasso regression, so that was something that I used this time as well. And after doing the regression, the final variables that were of the most importance. Like in week seven, I had about like 42 variables, and out of them, I had to choose the most relevant ones. So I had to choose them as well. And so this was the data set that I originally used. After having it cleaned up and everything, so perfect for use. And then after I had run the regression, there it was in the lasso selected features. This shows the different features that were over there. So we had all the market, SMB, HML, RMW, CMA, UMD momentum, all of these from the Pharma French factors. Then dividend per share, volume, and debt to assets ratio, limited debt to assets ratio, asset turnover ratio. So all of these were the most relevant features that I had selected. So a total of 11. So after that, we move on to the next part, and then after having done that, using that file, I selected those features, right over here, and then over here, this begins our process where we use the elbow method and the silhouette score method to identify how many clusters, or what is the optimal number of clusters. So we begin from over here. Then k-means clustering also comes from over here. So I had done the testing from 2 clusters to 10 clusters, of the different companies that I had for this data. And this was run over here. So and then I had the plotting of the elbow method and the silhouette score method of what was the optimal number of clusters that was coming out to be. And as I tested it with the k-means clustering, not k-means clustering right now, but with the elbow method and the silhouette method, it was found that 6 clusters were the most optimal number of clusters that could have been used. I will show you these plots later on as well, but I just wanted to let you know that in this file I had found that 6 clusters regarding my data were the best. So let's move on to the second file. So in this one, basically the same things were run over here, but instead of just like testing for multiple clusters, I had only used, the optimal number of clusters, which was 6. So, that was being done, with k-means clustering right over here. And then, I had computed the mean median of financial ratios, for each of the clusters, and the summary over there. And then the visualization of the clusters was also done. And like I said, I'm going to show you these plots that I had created. So, for example, the PCA clusters over here, box plots for each metrics. I'm not going to show you the all of them, but the most relevant I'm going to show you right now after I had run these files. So as promised, this was the elbow method diagram and the silhouette method diagram. So both of them, the best, with the score analysis, what I found was that six clusters was the best. Prominently you can see this in the silhouette method, and you can see the elbow coming out to be, somewhere around between 5 and 6. So six was the optimal number of clusters that I had chosen. So this was that, and then we move on to the second plot, which shows the clusters. So you can see these clusters coming around over here. So, number five cluster, number four over here, and you can see the different other colors, which shows the, principal components over here, and the clusters of different companies coming over here as well. So, successful clustering was done. Then after I had done that, like I said, the financial ratios, how were they, according to, basically, comparing to the traditional, sectors, like how it was done for clusters. So this is how it is over here. So MKTRF, you have different kinds of values. So you can see that cluster number three had the highest value in the clusters for median MKTRF. The second cluster had the lowest one. So cluster two and, basically I can say yes, the cluster two and cluster six had negative values. The rest of them had positive values. So, in regards to that, I also had the median, small minus big over here as well. So we can see that cluster number three still has the, higher value, the highest value. Well, you can say that this is cluster four, number four, but, since it begins from zero, this is number four, but, it is labeled as three. So you can see that, this is right over here. So this is for the SMB, and then we have the high minus low over here as well. So I had done that for all the financial ratios, but, these were the, some of those that I had found to be the most important. Here's another diagram for median RNW across clusters. So that's that over here as well. CMA, the CMA values for different clusters are also listed over here. So cluster number zero, cluster number one have the highest CMA values amongst all the clusters, and the only one, that had negative was the last cluster. So we have that over here. Right, so the financial ratios. I didn't know that the video was running already, but the financial ratios are right over here. So like the diagrams that I was showing to you previously, this was done right over here. So financial ratios comparison, and then, their diagrams over there for each and every single one of these ratios over here, or these factors over here. And, some of the most important ones I showed you. The other ones were not as important, in showing the, in this video over here, but they are accounted for, in the investment strategies, in that part, right? So after that, I wanted to show basically, the best way to how to showcase the investment strategies. So before we go into that, I had forgotten to show you, the momentum over here as well. So cluster one, you can say that had the highest, positive momentum, over here, and then cluster, three was the one with the, most negative, value for the clusters. Basically you can see that for, cluster zero, three, and, four over here, we had negative ones, and then, barely any positive for cluster number two. Then, cluster one and cluster five had the positive, values for the clusters for the, momentum. Okay, so let's move back, and, okay, so yeah, we have done all of these. So, we are comparing clusters with traditional sector classifications. We were also, doing that and identify the potential investment opportunities. So yes, so in doing that, what I did was that I created a, another Python file that used Dash, to show a user interface, which would be the best use in order to show what best investment strategies you can use after creating these clusters. So let me show you that. So here is my UI file, how it goes. So for each and every single cluster, there is a description, given for each and every single one of them. I'm not going to explain them right now, but I'm going to show you the screen where it actually, gives that. So I've already ran the file, and let me show you this first. Okay, so here is the dash interface. So I've created a drop-down menu over here. So you can choose any one of these clusters over here from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for each and every single one of these clusters, so let's say that we're going with cluster 0 right now, it shows first the description of our cluster that we have created. So the first one, the description is quality and dividend stocks, which includes financial, industrials, and healthcare. Likely sectors are over here as well. And the best investment strategy that could be used is that you can invest in financially strong companies with stable earnings and consistent dividend payouts. These stocks are low risk and suitable for long-term holding, often found in financials, utilities, healthcare. Right, so this was one of those sectors. Let's move on to cluster number three. So cluster number three includes a small cap value stocks, which includes energy, materials, and small financials. The best investment strategy, what I have declared over here, is a focus on undervalued small cap stocks that could rebound in the future. These stocks may be temporarily out of favor, but have long term growth potential. And of course, as stated over here, that they are found in energy, materials, and small financial stocks. Let's go on to cluster number four. You can use this over here. The description of this one is the technology and innovative industries. So, like Meta, Google, and all of these companies, basically Apple. You can use that as well. So all of these companies are in this cluster, and the investment strategy is that you can invest, where you can see strong revenue growth and reinvested earnings. They tend to outperform in bull markets, but are volatile in downturns. So you got to keep that into consideration as well. So so basically, when you run this file, you can choose any one of these clusters, see what these clusters have. Like which kind of companies this cluster have, like which sectors do they correspond to, and then the best investment strategy is also included. So that was my assignment. I also should mention I actually created the entire report over here, which shows everything that basically I done that I actually did completing completing this in this assignment. And you are welcome to review all of that. So thank you so much. That was my assignment. I hope you like it.